Sure. Obviously happy for the guys. It's been a long week, especially after the ways things finished up last week. But much like the last time, things didn't go well. I was proud of the way the guys approached the week. As always, it's never easy to go on the road and get a win, but never easy here. Every time we've come up here, it's been a battle, and it's kind of what we try to emphasize to the guys, but also at halftime, at 7-5, I'm like, this is kind of what it's been like every time we've come here. So, again, don't expect anything different. Again, have a lot of respect for Scotty and this program. Just know how hard they've worked to build one of the best programs out there. So, to get a win, again, especially with everything that's going on and not having John Geppert today. I thought Will Schaller did a good job, and I give Reagan a lot of credit, their face-off guy. This was a game where, Luke had been, doing so well in most games, and we knew there would be a game where, something would happen, and we just couldn't rely on, Luke having statistically such a strong game. And I felt like this was one of them. But the guys found a way to kind of deal with that. So did Luke. And again, to get a win on the road, just happy for the guys.
After they sliced it, I think the 2 goals in the third quarter, what enabled your team to kind of pull away from that?
I think was it the TV timeout that came at that time? I think there was some sort of timeout, and it was a chance to kind of catch our breath, which I thought was good. And again, we kind of felt like it was going to be a little bit of a boxing match. We threw a couple punches, and then they punched right back. And then, hopefully you can respond back to it. I think there were a couple long possessions that we had. I know Zach Whittier hit one really late in the shot clock. And I think that was a big one for us. But one of the things we wanted to do, they do a good job of mixing up slides. And when they do slide, they pressure. So we really wanted to make sure we had good spacing today and shared the ball. And then we had opportunities we wanted to try to can them. So felt like we shot a little better today, which is encouraging for our group, but certainly something that we have to keep working on.
How important were the ground balls in the second half? And as you turned it quite around in that half?
Yeah, I mean, that's, and again, sometimes you can, when you're not maybe playing your best lacrosse and you're not shooting as well as you'd like, the ground balls, especially a team like Albany, just watching on film, they do a good job of getting out and running. So anytime there's a loose ball, if they get it, there's a good chance they can create some transition, and that puts you in a tough spot. So you're helping your defense, but you're also obviously getting extra possessions for your guys. I thought there was a really good ground ball in the fourth quarter that Daniel Kelly picked up. He threw it, I think, over to Kyle Long, and he threw it to Braden. And again, like, those are those hustle plays that, we really try to emphasize to our guys. It's not always pretty sometimes, but those tough ground balls are super important.
As you mentioned, they played you tough here before, but particularly after what your team did to them at your place last year, were you expecting them to be kind of fired up?
100%. That game last year was so weird, and we tried to explain it to the guys. We have that snowstorm come through, so they had a tough time getting down. We had to move the game inside, and Regan, I know, is a good face-off guy, and he had some violations early. And sometimes it gets like the game is, as much as it's physical, sometimes it's mental. So I felt like for him, that first quarter was a tough start. So we got, I think, 5-man ups in the first quarter. Like, that just never happens, right? So to expect that to happen again was unrealistic. And, we kind of remind the guys, like, everybody is prideful, and this program has been one of the best out there, especially in the last decade. So anytime you have a game where it doesn't go well, you're going to remember that the next year. And I'm not surprised they came out and played the way that they played, especially under Scotty's leadership.
How about having a moment for the former player?
Yeah.
Meaningful to you?
Yeah, classy move by Scotty. I know we were all at Princeton a few weeks ago when we found out about Greg, and Scotty was one of the first guys to reach out to me, and a bunch of those guys from that 95 era reached out some of the other guys and just talked about what Greg meant to them. And you could tell with Scotty, like, he's such a people person that everywhere he's been, whether, it's here or Maryland, Hopkins, Delaware, you name it, so much of it is relationships for him. And that's why he does what he does. And he still has so many strong relationships with the guys that he coached at Maryland, and certainly is part of our family, even though he's created just a great program here. But he hasn't forgotten those relationships and obviously Greg's family. So class move by him. And I know the family and all of our alums appreciate it.
Third time here, it seems like even the program you're a stature, you really have no problem taking it on the road and coming up here again.
I'm an upstate guy, so I don't know. I love coming back up. I always tease the guys that aren't from here that it's the best place on earth. They kind of look at me funny, but I'm obviously a biased upstate New Yorker. I love the people here and just so many great memories growing up, and love coming back. So people here, the facilities people did a tremendous job with the weather we got last night. We showed up today. The field looked great, man. These people do it and do it right.
Sorry, guys, we got to run to the airport, so no time for Zoom today, but thank you all for joining.